Okay, so today we have your study guide, and then the test will follow this. So I want to go over it. So we're reviewing and quizzing, I guess not test, in this same day, and it's over lessons 8.1 through 8.4. You can use any of the exponent rules that we learned in these lessons. So the first one, this would be looking at multiplication. So you keep the base if it's the same. So the base is the b, so I will keep that. So when you multiply, you add the exponents. So that's now going to be b to the 14th. All right, 2 is similar. It's still multiplication. If there's no coefficient, it's kind of like a 1. So I multiply the coefficients. So 1 times 18 is still 18. Keep same variable base. So I keep the z and add the exponents of that base. So 3 plus 4 would be 18z to the 7th. All right, 3 is looking at power of a power. So it kind of looks like this double exponent, like you have 1 with 1 directly outside of it. So that makes that 9th power apply to everything in here, kind of like similar to distribution. So I'm going to take 12 to the 9th, and then the exponents I multiply. So 6 times 9. And then use your calculator to simplify that 12 to the 9th. So you'll type, so on the calculator you'll type 12, and then the little button that looks like an up arrow should be on like the top right for my calculator, maybe different for others. And then type the exponent, which is 9, and hit enter. So 12 to the 9th, it's going to give you a really huge number. Geesh. Okay, could have picked a better one there. So 5, 1, 5, 9, 7, 8, 0, 3, 5, 2. Add your commas, and then q to the 54th. All right, 4. So similar thing here. You want to apply that 5 to everything. I will say if there's no exponent, so like a, remember it's like a 1. So I'm going to apply the 5 to all of these and multiply them. So a to the 1st times 5 is now a to the 5th. B to the 2nd times 5 is now b to the 10th. C to the 4th times 5 is now c to the 20th. And d to the 2nd times 5 is now d to the 10th. All right, and now 5 is looking at quotient property or division. So you will divide the coefficients, or like just the regular numbers there. Keep the same bases and subtract their exponents. So division, you subtract the exponents. Okay, so if I divide the coefficients, and this is kind of if you can, like if it's going to come out to a even whole number there. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. And then I have w to the 21st over w to the 34th. So 21 minus 34 is negative 13. Okay, since this one has a negative as well, to do the negatives, you remember the exponent applies to what's directly in front of it. So you move that term to, in this case, the bottom. So I'm going to say opposite side, opposite, like top or bottom. You're essentially flipping it. And make the exponent positive. Okay, so now that's going to become, so the 4 stays on top, the w will go to the bottom, and 13 becomes positive. Now it's in simplest form. Okay, number 6 has a couple things going on. First, we need to do the power of a power here, and it applies to all the top. So 4 to the 4th, multiply the exponents. So 3 times 4 is 12. and then also to the bottom. So 7 to the 4th, h to the 6 times 4 is 24. All right, now we want to simplify the coefficients. So right here, so 4 to the 4th is 256, h to the 12th. I'm going to leave there for right now. And then 7 to the 4th is 2401, h to the 24th. Okay, and if we have to also subtract these exponents. So if I take 12 minus 24, that's negative 12 now. But to get rid of that negative, I have to take this and move it to the bottom and make it positive. So 256 over 2401, h to the 12th. Okay, number 7 has a lot of negative exponents here, so we're going to need to get rid of those. So our coefficients, first of all, 32 divided by 16 will give us 2, and then x to the negative 5th and minus 2, okay? I'm writing this one out a little bit longer to hopefully help you there, so you can, if it helps you to mark them off as you go and see what you've done, you can do that. So y to the 6th minus negative 3. I have to make sure I have that double on there. That's going to change actually to plus, so that'll be important. Done with those, and then there's nothing to go with z to the negative 5th. All right, so negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. 6 plus 3 becomes 9. All right, and I need to take anything negative and move it to the bottom. So 2, the x to the negative 7th will move to the bottom and become positive. Y to the 9th is already positive, so it can stay. And then z to the negative 5th will become z to the positive 5th. Okay, 8, no negatives yet, so we're going to start with division on this one. 55 and divided by 20 won't work, but I can divide each of those by 5, so think like simplifying fraction. So 55 divided by 5 would be 11, 20 divided by 5 would be 4. Okay, now I'll deal with my variables and exponents. So m to the 4 minus the bottom is 0, and then n to the 0 minus negative 2. All right, so 4 minus 0 would be 4. 0 minus negative 2 will be plus. All right, so then let's just write that a little bit neater. 11m to the 4th, n to the 2nd over 4. Okay, now write in exponential form. So if you remember, I said when we go from like exponential, say it was like this, to radical, which is what it's currently in, the top number stays, so this 2 would stay with the 3, the bottom would go out. But we're doing the opposite here. So since this one is in radical form, like this, the 4 will be on the bottom number, and if there's nothing here, that one's like a 1. Okay, so I would get rid of the radical, so that's 3a to the 1/4. So remember, you can add a 1 if there's not one there. Bring this 4 over here and put it as a fraction. So exponential form. So that fraction is my exponent there. Okay, nope, parentheses. All right, number 10, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to put it in radical form. So the top number stays within, and the bottom number goes. And by goes, I mean goes outside the radical. So I'm going to add my radical. 14n is in there. The 3 stays, and the 4 goes out here. Okay, the back side's a little tougher. It's kind of your word problems. So use the formula volume equals pi times radius squared times height, where r is the radius and h is the height, to find the volume of the inside of this cylindrical pipe in terms of pi. So this is our height. This is kind of sitting on its side, the cylinder, and then this is our radius. So we're just going to plug them into the formula. And then since it said in terms of pi, it means I'm just going to keep pi kind of like a variable here. I'm not going to really do anything to it. All right, I'm going to plug in the radius, which is 8x squared y squared. And it says radius squared, so I have to put this power of a power outside of there. And then times the height. Okay, so distribute your, well, think of it like distribute the 2 to everything. And keeping my pi, so 8 squared is 64. X squared to the second is now x to the fourth. Same thing with the y. If it helps you to put parentheses around these instead, feel free. Keeping the pi. Okay, now I have this part that I need to deal with, so I multiply the numbers. So 64 times 12 is 768. And I am multiplying here, so I'm adding the exponents with same bases. So x, 4 plus 2 would give me x to the 6th. Y, 4 plus 2, y to the 6th. Technically, I want that pi to be kind of thrown on at the end here, because you usually write variables after the numbers, which is sort of what pi is. And there will be that one. Okay, 12, we did one like this in your homework. So the area of the rectangle is 42 x to the fourth y to the second. So area formula is length times width. Well, they're giving us the area, so I'm going to plug that in there, in the A. And then they give us the width. We're looking for the length. So I'm going to do length times 6xy squared. So you want to think, if this were like a regular equation, it would be like, I don't know, maybe we have 20 equals length times 5. Well, I would divide by 5, and the length would be 4. All right, but here we have these exponential numbers instead. So I'm going to divide by x, y to the second, which cancels, and divide it over here. Remember, you could put a 1 on the x if you like. 42 divided by 6 is 7. Subtract our exponents, x to the third, and y's will cancel out. So your length is 7x to the third. Okay, 13. Anything to the 0 power does equal 1 if it only includes the numbers that are in parentheses or directly in front of it. So that will be true. And then this one, if I had 7 over m to the negative fifth, I would want to move the m to the negative fifth to the top and make that positive. So that is true. Oh, and we need to, I am going to mark off 15 because we didn't really fully cover that in Algebra 1. That's more of an Algebra 2 thing. So, all right, remember your quiz is today also, so don't forget to take that.